We voluntarily opened our contract, and then again in 2012 made an extension with further concessions, as some remarks have already been made, to ensure that we put our community first. The fact that we have had no reductions in our staff and reductions in our stations, brownouts as other communities have experienced, and a reduction in service to those that are most vulnerable, that are calling for us when seconds count, is something that we are incredibly proud of. We approached these conversations and negotiations as we had throughout the other negotiating processes. And that was with a fair conversation given our current economic reality. We started them at the worst possible and the deepest recession since the Great Depression, and through that process we have come through, and now in a recovery contract you'll have that for your consideration this evening.
I have to give a lot of credit to you, Fred, and to Dan for thinking about the community first, thinking about our budget first, and working together for the benefit of our community and putting our community first before themselves. So thank you very much for that.
The first end-of-term bargaining cycle since 2008, and since that period of time, I have been in front of you with 3 separate and distinct concession agreements that we would have been able to negotiate with our firefighters in each of our local unions, where they have worked collaboratively with us to help manage our challenges throughout this economic downturn. And so this is, again, a full end-of-term bargaining, and this agreement is a very balanced approach that recognizes signs of recovery, yet fully also recognizes the challenges that the city continues to have and the structural deficits that we continue to struggle with on a daily basis. So the highlights of the agreement are what I would consider a very conservative increase in cost, in 1.1% in fiscal year 15 and 2.23% in fiscal year 16. That's achieved through a combination of increases and concessions. And so our bargaining discussions were comprehensive, and both parties realized that for us to reach an agreement and for it to be a viable business solution for the city, it was going to have to be give and take. There were some significant and maybe even unprecedented things accomplished. And I begin with the fact that Local 1883 agreed to a lump sum payment in the first year of the agreement rather than a base wage increase. And this is significant in its effect on the city's budget in that it does not include PERS expense and it does not compound in future years. And so this was something that I'm pretty familiar with my days in the auto industry, but something that we haven't seen in the public sector, but an incredibly important tool to help manage providing employees resources, but also managing the city's overall expenditure on a long-term basis. So we were very pleased that they were willing to work with us in that regard. We also created a new 12-step pay plan that reduces the starting salary for new firefighters by 10%. So we added 2 new steps at the beginning of the pay scale, a step at the end of the pay scale, and that will have a significant impact as we restaff the department. The savings for a 12-step pay plan for 15 recruits would equal $1.8 million over 12 years.
This was true leadership in our community, and both sides gave, and I think that our city is better off for it. And when you see commendations like the Heart Safe community, or you see the rapid response time that we have in emergencies, and today we had an event out at the pool at the Multi-Generational Center about drowning safe pools. Our firefighters go above and beyond. They don't just show up for work, they go above and beyond to serve our community, to make this a better place to live, and that's part of what makes Henderson premier. It's that thoughtfulness, that leadership.